I'm going to show you two types of asset classes that you need in your portfolio so you can build a property portfolio 10 times faster than the average Australian investor. This is something that not many people know about and think that they just got to buy one particular asset class and that's the way they're going to build wealth through property. Well, you're wrong. And I'm going to show you exactly why you need different types of asset classes in your portfolio that's going to help you accelerate your portfolio and give you the life and choice and freedom that you deserve through property. Now, this is something that doesn't get spoken about. They don't tell you what sort of assets you got to buy. If you read any books, if you listen to as many podcasts as possible that are related to property investing, or even if you're you're reading news articles, etc. They just talk about property markets. But you need to have certain properties in your portfolio to grow in value, but most importantly, to help you pay down debt and actually give you the life and choice and freedom that you deserve investing in property. So let's get into it and let me show you exactly what you need to know so you can become in the top 0.4% of Australians that own 3 or more investment properties. So I'm going to talk about foundational versus accumulators. These are type of properties that we need to build the property portfolio. Now, they both have different roles when you're building in your portfolio because one is building the foundations. I call it the building blocks as well. And you need to build that before you can start going into bigger and more sophisticated property investment choices moving forward. Then we've got accumulators. Accumulators are properties that accelerate your property portfolio, and they do that by putting in a larger amount of cash flow in your pocket. Now, the reason why we need these type of two assets in our portfolio is that a foundational property, what it's going to do for you, it's building the foundations. It's building the building blocks. It's putting the stumps down on the ground, and it's making your journey more stable because now you've got properties that are going to help you leverage and use that equity as it grows in value to purchase other properties. Now, these building blocks or these foundational properties, what they predominantly do, they're still using our strategy with cash flow positive, but what they're more of a higher growth asset. Okay, so they're growing tremendously well in value. And so what we're doing with that, we're using that as a vehicle to release the equity down the track and use that equity to buy other greater investments. Does that make sense? Now, if I've lost you here, just look at it as we need a few, say 2 to 4 foundational properties at the beginning of our journey, depending on the client's specific situation. Now, during that journey, you're going to have to move over and go down to accumulators because accumulators are going to help you accelerate the portfolio even faster again. Now, depending on people's situation and strategy plan and depending on their age and what their targets are, sometimes accumulators, some sort of accumulators can actually come at the very beginning and we can actually accelerate it just at the beginning depending on the client's specific financial situation. Okay, now I'm going to show you accumulators. What they do is they put a larger amount of income in your pocket, so they're more of a cash flow based asset. They do grow in value as well, tremendous growth from them as well. But what the point of this is to help you build up those cash reserves, puts more income into the offset accounts, reducing the interest repayments, helping you pay down debt even faster than 10 times of the average Australian investor. And what it does as well, it increases your borrowing capacity because you've got a larger income coming in now from these properties that are producing a higher cash flow. So let's get into it and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. This is a foundational properties building block, or the building blocks I like to call them. Now, it's a house, 3-bedroom house, 1 bath, 1 car garage. We purchased this property for our client, 275,000, 800 square meter block, beautiful house, side access. We can put a granny flat at the back in the right zoning for that if development in the future as well. Over $6,000 of positive cash flow, 7.1% yield. $45,000 closing costs, including our buyer's agent fee. And you look at it, this property has accelerated his portfolio for one of our clients. Now, in the space of 12 months, this property has grown 25%. So now it's valued at $350,000. We've actually used his equity already, and we used $75,000 to release out, and then we used that to purchase property number 3 for this client here, which is he's in a great opportunity of building a property portfolio in a short period of time. But his return on investment is 166%. How we calculate that is the $75,000 he's made in that year plus the $6,000 he's made as well for the positive cash flow, and then we're dividing that by the amount of the deposit he's put down, then we times it by 100. This is the ratio we're getting, and this is how we get our return on investment value. Cash on cash return, very similar again. Imagine the money that he's put down, this $45,000 here. Imagine you put that in a term deposit in the bank. If you go and put that in a term deposit in the bank, do you think you're going to get 13% interest on that money? I highly doubt it. But have a look at this. He's put his money, $45,000 into a property, and it's actually giving him a cash on cash return of 13%, which is unbelievable. Here are some statistics, of the property. $350 per week. This property rents out for 7.1% yield. Figures of three bedroom, 1 bath, 1 car, 809 square meter block. Beautiful home. Beautiful home. So we call this your typical foundational properties, and this is what people need at the beginning of their portfolio. Now, I'm going to show you the next type of assets that we go for is accelerators, or you can call them accumulators. I like to call them accumulators. These are more larger cash flow assets, okay? Now, higher yielding properties. This is a duplex. So we bought this on the 1 block. Now, we paid $350,000 for this property. $64,000 it was for closing costs, 8.6% yield. Over $11,000 of positive cash flow in their pocket. This is for one of our clients, a 10% deposit we put down on this property. And this property is a beautiful home. Now, you got 2 dwellings, so you're getting 2 types of incomes coming in. Now, we go for these duplexes, there's quadplexes, and we go for all sorts of other blocks of apartment. What we're making sure of, we're buying the whole block. So there's no body corp fees. We own everything. If we want to do some renovations, if we want to do something to the property or the land and knock it down and put something on it in the future, we can. We've got the opportunity. So this is the reason why we go down this path. Now, we've got other different types of asset classes that we go down, rooming house, etc. I'm not going to touch on them just yet because this is something that relates for a lot of people. These sort of properties we can get at the beginning of their journey as well. So depending on the client's situation, this might come at the very beginning. But let me show you what this property's done. Growing 15%. So it's valued at the moment in 6 months, but mind you, that's $391,000. In 6 months, this property has grown. His return on investment is 96%. Not bad for a block of units. That's what they're classified as if you had to sell these individually. 17% cash on cash return. So this property, it's renting out for $570 a week. You paid $340 for it. That's an 8.6% yield. They've got the potential as well. These 2 properties here, they've got a back access that we can turn into a 3rd bedroom. By doing that, it's an extra $60 per unit. And so this is in a really, really good location. We can turn this into a 6-bedroom dwelling occupancy. And we can, it's got 2 baths, 1 per side, 2 car spots, 809 square meter block as well. Massive block. This is something, the zoning it's in, we can do a development in the future as well. It's in the right zoning. So people need different types of asset classes, and this is tailored to your personal situation. And if you want to understand the game of finance, you have to make sure that you're getting the right assets at the beginning of your journey. Otherwise, you will get stuck. People think that, sometimes some people may not need a foundational property at the beginning of their portfolio. Maybe they need an accumulator, and that's going to help them accelerate the portfolio at the beginning because maybe they're lack of, income coming through, and maybe they're on a lower, income wage compared to some other people out there in society. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we tailor the plan to their specific needs. Then some clients may need a foundational properties at the very beginning. So this is something that you have to understand. To learn more about this and what sort of properties you need for your specific portfolio, for your achievement, for your goals, fill in your details down below. I'm going to show you exactly how to find these sort of properties, what you need to know to target this and understand the game of finance, because this is something, like I said, doesn't get spoken about on podcasts. It doesn't get spoken about in book or written in books, or listen. If you listen to audiobooks, you don't listen to it. It doesn't get spoken about very rarely on YouTube channels, etc. I'm showing people how to do this. Why? Because this is something, if you make the wrong choice at the beginning of your journey, you will be stuck when you're investing in property. And that's something that I've been through and I don't want anyone else to go through. So click the details below, get into the next video. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to know so you can become the top 0.4% of Australian investors that own 6 or more investment properties. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you get the next access to this video.